Hey YouTube, it's me again, just working opening shift today, so I'm going to do a little bit of a morning drive on this car. Car's running okay today. What was it? Yesterday it was completely awful. For some apparent reason it wouldn't lock my torque converter until 50. And so I was getting a bouncing tachometer the entire way around. And I'm like, what on earth is going on? Like, usually it locks at about 45. See, right now it's locked at 45. And then it unlocks at like 42 maybe. I don't know what that was. Maybe it was just the fluid was really hot and it was a hot day. Drove a lot of city, and then on top of that, people were being stupid and just braking in front of me like nobody's business. So, I don't know. Probably just the fluid was starting to get a little hot, so it changed the driving dynamics completely. The idle also went up a little bit as well. Overall, though, the car still runs well. It's all fixed. It ended up being the Vtec switch on the Vtec solenoid. So now I can accelerate really hard. And it looks like the car's doing good. Torque converter is locking very, very nicely now. Yesterday it didn't lock so well, like I said. Like, if I would let go of the gas right now yesterday, it would have done this. It would have just bounced the tachometer all over the place. So, I mean, that's basically it, though. Overall, though, it's not a bad car. It did give me some problems on the way to California, like I said, but it's no biggie. This last week has been car spawn from hell. What was I gonna say? Mom's battery died. My cousin's rental car, their battery died, but it was kind of his fault. He left the lights on. What happened? Oh, besides this one car blowing up in front of me on the Baker Hill from California, my girlfriend's car, the Dodge Stratus, the axle, I think, is starting to break or something along that sort, because every time she accelerates it clicks. What else? I'm trying to figure out everybody's car situation here. My best friend, the one that I went to go visit in California, her engine actually came loose on her Ford Focus. So she couldn't drive it, and consequently it kind of sucked. Well, I mean, she was able to drive it while we were going like Six Flags and stuff, but overall though, like, her engine completely came loose, so that's not fun at all. But yeah, that's basically it, you guys. I mean, there's a lot of car problems, but they all get fixed up in the end, right? Maybe. One thing I have noticed, though, is that my mom has been getting batteries from AAA, and they seem to die out after every maybe 1.5 to 2 years. It turns out that those batteries are remanufactured. So she had a huge bulge, like in the side of her battery, which was really, really, really not beneficial whatsoever. But like I said, though, it was really bad yesterday. I mean, the transmission was just constantly shifting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it basically just, along the lines of, I think the fluid started to almost overheat a little bit. Because now, that as you can see, the torque converter is locking perfectly. But before, I mean, it was driving in the hot weather, and then constantly shifting back and forth. I think just the fluid got really, really thin. So, I don't know, maybe, could it be that the transmission's still overfilled? I don't know. I checked it, and it looks like it's fine. I checked it with the engine on, but I heard in Hondas you have to check it with the engine off, not on. So I checked it with it off, and it was just a little bit above the full line, but I mean, not enough to be like this huge drastic change. See, it still shifts perfectly, fast and crisp. So I don't know. I know that it was overfilled in my last service, definitely for sure, because I mean, it would shift so slow and buck around, it was ridiculous. But like I said, transmission's now shifting fine. Yesterday it was shifting perfectly yesterday. It's just it wouldn't lock the torque converter. So I was like, what the hell, you know what I mean? But as you can see, car does really well. Vtec engagement point is around 4,500 RPM on the 4-cylinder, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit more, like maybe 5,000. I mean, you really have to accelerate the crap out of these cars just to get the full torque, which is at like 5,050 RPMs or something like that. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's kind of inconvenient. I mean, and one thing too is this transmission does annoy me a little bit. It does tend to downshift into a gear that's a little bit too low when you're coming off a turn. Like when you're just resuming on an acceleration, like on a turn, and I'm quoting this from the Vtec Dude 300, when you're resuming on an acceleration, like on a turn on these cars, the gear is basically low. I mean, like, you can't get any acceleration out of it. So then what ends up happening is you just have to kick it down. There have been a few times where I come off a turn and it kicks into first. And that's normal for these cars, but then again, you don't want to be revving the engine crazy high like that. So, that's basically it though. Just be easy on the gas. It'll really help you in the long run. Saves you a lot of gas too. Alrighty then, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and catch you later. It's been a good night drive. Like I said, try to keep the transmission cool because on these cars they tend to overheat and there's not enough clutch clearance to second gear. So just let me know. Alright guys, later.